April 7th meeting of the City Council of Dublin will hereby be called to order. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge to the flag after the invocation. I invite Pastor Daniel Walker of Woodland Heights Baptist Church to provide the invocation for us.
Proverbs 37 verse 23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord." Let's pray. Shall we? Father, we do love you. We thank you, Lord, for this day that you've given us, God, to meet in this chamber. Father, I would ask, God, that you would give each council member wisdom and guidance. And Lord, may they exercise this high privilege, Lord, to lead this great city of ours. Lord, not just for betterment, Lord, but in a moral state. Lord, this city could be a light on a hill that could not be hid. God, this city might reflect what it means to serve you and have you as our Lord and Savior. Father, give them wisdom. And we ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening to everyone, and thank you, Pastor Walker, for providing the invitation tonight. We're going to begin this evening with an introduction of a new city staff member, and what we hope to do, we realize that we have lots and lots of people watching online, and we've been having full audiences here, and we want to provide great openness and transparency to the citizens. And as part of that, we want to introduce staff members to you and give you a little bit of information about their background and what role they play in the city, just so that the citizens will have a greater understanding of the people who make this town work. So, Mr. Powell, if you'll introduce our newest staff member.
Yes, sir. So over a year ago, the city started looking at the possibility of adding a city planner to our employee staff to help guide the city as far as looking at an overall and comprehensive approach to how the city develops as we get planning and zoning applications, as we get annexation requests, and then as the city itself acquires properties or other building permits come in, how that will affect the overall picture and growth for the city. And so last year the council budgeted for staff to hire a city planner just for that purpose. And once that budgeting was done, we developed a job description and advertised that for just over a month. We received some applications. Dwayne Greer, our human resources director, and myself went through the applications, and we assembled a panel of other city planners from across the state to help us with the interview process. And we interviewed 3 of the candidates who met the qualifications, and ended up hiring Ms. Tara Bradshaw, who is here tonight. Tara is a longtime city resident here in Dublin. A lot of you probably know her and have heard her name before because she has been instrumental with the Downtown Development Authority and Main Street program in downtown. She was a big part of the Bicentennial Plaza. She was just telling me earlier that was one of her first projects she worked on. She was a part of the Jackson Street Plaza and very instrumental in that. I personally was able to witness that because I was serving as city attorney at the time. And she's also assisted a lot of local business owners with secured historic tax credits through coordination with the WDIG office, so that all these buildings that you see downtown that have been renovated wouldn't have happened had she not been here to help and guide these business owners. Tara has a lot of experience with economic development. She comes from the Department of Community Affairs, where she was, make sure I get your title correct. She was the Economic Development Specialist at the Office of Downtown Development. She has 15 years of community planning and development, and so I'm very excited that she's agreed to join our team and is going to put that same focus and energy for our whole town. So, Tara, if you'll stand up for us. And glad to have you, and thank you for joining our team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Josh. We'll now move to a special presentation. We are excited, as always, when it comes time for this, to present the Employee of the Quarter. Mr. Powell.
We are pleased that Greg Thomas is our 2022 Employee of the First Quarter for the City of Dublin. Greg, if you want to come on down. Greg was hired on September 16, 2016 in the Public Works Department. He has worked for the city for almost 6 years. He has a great attitude and is a joy to be around and to work with. He can always be counted on to do whatever he's asked in his job. He's very knowledgeable and has very many job duties. He possesses a great willingness to learn as much as he can in the department, and he also seeks to improve his skills as he can. His work duties include inspecting the city's right-of-ways, mowing, trimming, and edging around trees, shrubs, flowers, sidewalks, and buildings, removing trash and debris from public areas, pouring and shoveling asphalt and concrete, raking, tamping, smoothing asphalt and concrete, digging out holes. He goes around filling all the potholes we have in town. That's a never-ending task, isn't it?
That's true.
He is a great pleasure to have him associated with the Public Works Department. All your co-workers speak very highly of you. And today you're being presented, our chairwoman of council, Colby, is going to present you with a plaque.
Thank you for making our city beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much.
I know Greg works hard, but more importantly, he's got a great attitude and is just a fun guy to be around and work with. So congratulations again, Greg.
Thank you.
We'll now move to the regular agenda items. The first item on our agenda is the approval of 3 minutes from our last meetings, March 3rd, March 10th, and March 25th. The council has seen those minutes. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion from Councilman Jones and a second from Councilman Colvin. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now move to item 2 of the agenda, which is approval of bills over $15,000.
Can we just clarify just a second? Council Member Smith and Mascaro, will you be voting? They're joining us by phone.
Are they there?
Are they on mute?
Can you repeat that?
Are y'all able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Will you be voting, or are you gonna just listen?
If we're allowed to vote from the meeting, then I will.
Yeah, you can. We have a quorum, but if you want to vote, I didn't want to exclude you.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, our council rules do allow for members to participate by telephone for a certain number of times each year by meeting. And we have Councilman Mascara and Councilman Smith who are both joining us by phone, and they are allowed to vote as long as they are able to hear the discussion and hear the motions. All right. And
I'm just trying to clarify for the minutes if they voted or not. I don't think they voted on that one.
okay, so Councilman Mascara and Councilman Smith, did you cast a vote on the approval of the meeting minutes? If you support the approval of the meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, there we go. All right, we got to keep our records straight. Thank you for that. Let's now move on to approval of bills over $15,000. Mr. Powell.
You have a list of those bills in your packet.
Move to pay the bills.
We have them. This should be bills under $15,000. Is that correct?
Over.
Over $15,000. Okay, that's right. We have a motion to approve from Councilman Jones. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second from Councilman Griggs. Sorry, Paul. Got caught up in your last name there. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Here at Stepping Stone, you are never alone. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual assault, please call our fully confidential crisis number at 478-595-8339.
Now we'll move to approval of purchases over $15,000, starting with laptops for police department vehicles. Mr. Powell?
We have 12 Panasonic substitute laptops that also includes car mounts and docks that we need for the police department that's being requested. These will help the patrol officers who are out and about with being able to pull up certain information through GCIC and also get important and relevant information they need to do their job well. And they'll be able to write their reports, most importantly, from the car instead of having to come back to the station to do those. So they'll be able to stay out and about amongst the community. And we have plans to purchase 12 more of these in the upcoming fiscal year. We were able to locate some funds that we already have available in this year's budget, and we have to council approve the expenditure of $51,328.89. It's two different companies. There's Mooring Tech Incorporated and West Chatham Warning Devices out of Savannah. One is for the mounts and one is for Mooring Tech, but the total cost is the $51,000 figure.
All right.
Do y'all want to handle these all together, or?
I think we can handle these all together. I don't believe that there's any, do you want to handle, does any council member want to handle these?
I think we can have them together, but I think on B, we have to amend that one because we talked about taking off the Hillcrest, so that would be amended. We have to amend that motion to take off the Hillcrest.
We don't have to have council do that. We can do it as staff.
Why don't we take these separately, and that way we can address any concerns as we go.
Right.
All right, so we have the approval of police department vehicle laptops. Any questions for staff on this? Do we have a motion?
These are new, right? They're not
Right.
replacements for ones that we have existing.
No, they don't have computers in the car now. This is being new.
And just clarify this, it doesn't just allow them to write reports in the field versus going back to the police station. That's the biggest difference
That's
there.
the declaration.
Right.
This is something they previously requested to increase efficiency.
It is.
I think the patrol officers would appreciate having these as well.
Absolutely.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Griggs and a second from Councilman Godfrey. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we've got all the ayes. Let's move on to item B, groundskeeping maintenance. Mr. Powell?
We solicited proposals for groundskeeping maintenance for City Hall, the 441 North and Country Club intersection, Bicentennial Plaza, Railroad Park, Police Department, River Walk Park, Veterans Boulevard, and Hillcrest Parkway, and there are some other locations that you can see there on the list. And we had a panel that scored the proposals and recommended to council that T-Lake Environmental Design be awarded the contract. The annual contract price is $234,024.96, and staff has to award the contract to them. It does include, as you'll see in there, Hillcrest west and east at the bottom, and that is also based off of what will be Hillcrest once the construction of the widening is completed. So for the moment, those costs will not be incurred, as they will not be any moment taking place until the project's done. But as that is incurred, we will add that as part of what they cut for us.
I know Mr. Lake's
Yeah,
here.
he's here. We have questions.
So do you mind coming forward? Do you have anything to add to this, or does council have any questions?
Glad to take any questions. We're very appreciative. We're grateful. 34 years ago, I started a journey to revitalize downtown Dublin in 1988. And here we are today. So it's a pleasure to see it. My goal was to have it take a life of its own, and it has done that, and a lot of people have been involved in that. And so we started with Bob Walker and Ken Hammonds. And so some of you were barely born when Ken Hammonds was our city manager. Ken had come from Kissimmee, Florida, and I had been in Winter Park, Florida. And we were getting lots of grant money in the state of Florida. So I came home and said, why aren't we doing something in Dublin? So it started from there with the first $1.2 million, and since then, many congressmen have helped us, Democrat and Republican both, 3 mayors, a couple of city managers, and it's come a long way since then, and each of you have begun to add your stamp to that. Josh, you and Tara have done a lot there. So something I want you to know, I appreciate this. I know we were not the low bid. Cheap does not equal good value sometimes. And I want you to know that we will not disappoint you. This is an investment, and what you're getting is not a company that mows grass. We started a maintenance division because our clients asked us to help support the value and the investment they had made in their construction projects that we had performed. We started a construction company because our clients asked us to build what we designed and permitted. So at our core, we're a landscape architecture and planning company. We have partnerships with offices in Atlanta, Birmingham, Orlando, and here in Dublin. And we provide land planning, landscape architecture, assistance in city planning, human factors, and expert witness work, as well as construction and maintenance of landscapes. So most of our clients have been with us now for nearly 3 decades. We appreciate y'all. What questions do you have for me?
Yeah, I think that we had a good discussion at pre-council about, particularly about the unit pricing on Hillcrest and how that might be adjusted according to that construction schedule and how that develops. And staff answered our questions there. Does any council member have a question for Mr. Lake? All right, thank you, Mr. Lake. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Mascaro has never looked better than he does tonight. I hate to leave you, but I have praise band practice.
Thank you very much. All right. Do we have a motion on item 3B, groundskeeping maintenance?
Make a motion for approval.
We have a motion from Councilman Briggs. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Councilman Colby. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next item is cemetery grounds maintenance.
Yeah, this was a separate request for proposals that we got, that we received, and New Growth TLM LLC was, well, we did receive 2 proposals, but the other withdrew their proposal from us. And so we ended up with just one, and it's New Growth TLM LLC, and the price is $111,100, and this will be for maintenance of the 3 of the cities, or the 3 city cemeteries. That's the Northview Cemetery, the Cross the Creek Cemetery, and then what's sometimes called the Old City Cemetery, which is behind the First Methodist Church. And staff asks that you award the contract to New Growth TLM LLC.
All right. Do we have any questions for staff from council? Again, we had a discussion where many questions were answered at pre-council. If there are no questions, do we have a motion?
Make a motion for approval.
We have a motion from Councilman Briggs. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second from Councilman Colby. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now move to item 3D, emergency repair of North Church Street.
So if you've driven or tried to drive up North Church Street, you'll see there's a big sinkhole there. We had a corrugated pipe that collapsed and caused the road to collapse. And so we had to get an emergency quote from McClendon Enterprises, who is actually the company in town that's doing the construction on Hillcrest. And their price to make this repair, which would include replacing 60 feet of this corrugated pipe with concrete piping, and then replacing the road, comes in at $85,142.33. And staff asks that you award that to them so we can get that repaired.
Do we have any staff questions? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to accept this bid.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman and a second from Councilman Jones. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Hi, I'm Kyle Gerard, A+ Flooring and Construction. We can build you any new structure from the ground up, just like we're building a brand new showroom here that's going to open up in March. So give us a call, 478-676-2662.
The diesel and automotive technology programs at Oconee Fall Line Technical College are hands-on and can be completed in a year and a half or less. Students gain valuable experience working on state-of-the-art equipment and training aids, and even maintain the college's diesel truck and vehicle fleet, which allows them to see the real-world issues they'll encounter on the job before they graduate. During labs, Students are exposed to every part of the automobile or diesel truck and are required to put the theories they've learned in the classroom and during lectures into action. OFTC's diesel program is certified through Daimler Trucks of North America's Get Ahead program, which allows students to add certifications to their resume before entering the workforce. Automotive technology students can also earn entry-level certifications through Automotive Service Excellence. Adding these certifications to their resume before entering the workforce sets OFTC graduates apart when applying for jobs. These programs are flexible and instructors work with students to accomplish their individual goals. Day and some evening class options are available, and the majority of a student's classwork is done online, so time on campus is spent applying knowledge and practicing skills through lab assignments. Careers in the diesel and automotive technician industry are in demand, and the more a technician learns, the more valuable they become to their employer. Opportunities in these fields are endless.
Now moving on to item 3E, the 4-inch vacuum-assisted solids handling pump.
This is a request from the wastewater department. It would give them the ability to bypass the lift stations in the event of an emergency repair was needed. It's a much needed piece of equipment for that department to make them more efficient when they're making those repairs. And it's also something that we had, as part of our NIPIDs permitting to run that plant, we had indicated in previous years that we would to buy this piece of equipment and maintain these lift stations like this. So we asked the council to award the purchase of this pump from Thompson Pump and Manufacturing in the amount of $46,463, and we budgeted $50,000 for this purchase, so we're under budget on that.
Oh, he gone.
All right, at pre-council, Mr. Brazil gave us some good information about exactly how all these, how the pump can be used and how useful it will be to his department. Do we have any questions now for staff from council?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Colby and a second from Councilman Godfrey. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, we're now at the time of the meeting for item 4, which is the budget presentation by Mrs. Beverly Brown, who is the director of our Appointing Regional Library. Ms. Brown, we're happy to have you here and appreciate you coming and giving us your presentation.
Thank you so much for having me and for allowing me a few minutes on your agenda to present the library's FY23 budget request. On behalf of the Lawrence County Library Board, I want to thank you all for your support over the years. You all have been good to the library, and we really appreciate it. This year, the board asked you to consider a budget increase of $56,471.48. That is an increase of $18,823.83 from the city, and an increase of $37,647.66 from the county. The increase would allow us to do 3 things. One is we have 2 employees who, one recently retired and the other one will retire in the FY23 budget cycle. We need to replace those 2 employees, and they are full-time employees who we really need to remain full-time. The cost of health insurance is $10,100, so roughly $22,000 or a little more than that would sustain the cost of health insurance for 2 full-time employees. These are essential employees, and we really need to keep them as full-time employees. Also, number 2, we have not asked for a budget for any cost of living increases for any city and county staff since before 2009. We have 20 staff members at the Lawrence County Library. 6 are paid with state funding. We have 4 MLS degree librarians, and we have our business manager, and we have our IT, head of IT, and they support the region. These 6 employees are paid with state funds. The 14 other employees are paid through city and county, and we would like to give them a cost of living raise and be able to sustain that. And that cost is, that would be a total of $24,674.85. And we all know we can use more full-time employees, but we're asking for a 17-hour part-time employee at a total of $8,564.63. And so that is the total that we're asking for, $56,471.48. We know that libraries across the country, they work hard to dispel the common misconception that libraries are no longer used. But we know that libraries are used, and we know that there's a digital divide, and we know that we're needed. We want to have the best employees, and we want to be able to give them cost of living raises. We appreciate everything you all do for the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Do you all have any questions?
Do we have any questions from council members?
Can you tell us your current hours? I know that there was a time where those have been reduced, so.
Yes, we're open Monday through Thursday from 9 until 7. We're open Fridays from 9 to 5 and Saturdays from 10 to 2. The city council, the city and the county, they were good enough to give us an increase back in 2018 so we could open on Fridays. Closing on Fridays was a part of that budget cut that everybody received back in 2009, and also the hours that were shortened on Fridays, on Saturdays. We used to be open until 5 on Saturdays, but that was a part of the cut back in 2009 as well. So we've had some budget cuts like everybody else in the community.
Just to make sure I'm clear, the $56,000 figure, of it, $18,000 is what you're asking from the city.
Yes, yes.
It's the 18,823 that you got in here?
Yes, the city's portion would be, you're right.
Okay. I'm just making sure that
Yes,
was, yeah.
yes, that's the city's portion.
Got it.
Is, I just had eye surgery, so that's basically, that is $18,823.83, the city's portion.
Ms. Brown, those two employees that you will be replacing over the next year, are those with any kind of specialized degrees or requirements?
No, these employees, they're our support staff, but they are two of the key employees that work in the public service area of the library. We don't have very many full-time employees. When we had budget cuts, we had to cut a lot of our employees' hours to 17 hours a week, because if you employ someone over 32 hours, you're required to pay health insurance. And so we had to rely on 17-hour-a-week employees, and we've been doing that for some time. So we do appreciate everything you all do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation.
The City of Dublin Natural Gas provides the most cost-efficient source of energy available today. So for your home, choose the most natural resource. Safe, clean, efficient. All new subdivisions around the Dublin area have natural gas available. Start reducing your energy bills today with Dublin City Natural Gas Department. Natural gas, the smart choice. Call 277-5048 today and let us help you start saving today.
My name is Phil Patel. I am one of the part owners here and the general manager here at the Hampton Inn & Suites. First time when I got introduced to Morris Bank, the people were so friendly and helpful. You feel like that you are appreciated there. At Morris Bank, everybody down at the bank is so friendly, and not just to myself, they're just friendly to everybody. They want us to succeed because our success is their success at the same time. That makes a lot of difference, and they're always there for us.
We'll now move to item 5 on the agenda, which is the first reading of an ordinance to rezone approximately an acre of land located at 213 Rose Street. Mr. Powell?
This is an ordinance to amend the zoning map, ordinance number 22-08. It's an amendment to the official zoning map of the City of Dublin, Georgia, as previously amended for the purpose of rezoning .91 acres, more or less, of property located at 213 Rose Street and 214 South Church Street, Dublin, Georgia, from M1 warehousing business zone to P professional zone the proposed use is a chiropractic office. And if you're familiar with this area, the property is right over here off of Madison Street. And
This be all kitchens.
It's a lot that crosses, it's 2 lots, that's why there's 2 addresses, but they connect that whole block.
All right. This is a first reading. The report of the Planning and Zoning Commission was favorable to the approval of the rezoning, but again, this is just a first reading of the ordinance. There will be a second reading and a public hearing on April 21st of later this month. So if any public has feedback, there will be an opportunity for public feedback at a public hearing on April the 21st. Now move to item number 6 on the agenda, which is the first reading of an ordinance to amend the occupation tax.
This is ordinance number 2209. It's an ordinance by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin to amend the code of ordinances, to amend the rates for taxes for occupations within the city of Dublin, to clarify penalties for violations, to clarify interest on delinquent payments, to modify charitable exemptions, and to provide for an effective date and other lawful purposes.
All right. For the public's benefit, this proposed ordinance would decrease the occupation tax for a little over 900 businesses in town, and it would significantly reduce the occupation tax for the approximately 400 businesses that are single-owned business or single-employee businesses. It would reduce that rate from $225 to $50. The purpose of the ordinance is to provide entrepreneurs who are beginning their business journey an opportunity to have a low-cost way to start a business and get registered with the city. It's to reduce the tax burden of these small businesses and encourage our small business growth. Do we have any, this is just the first reading. Do we have any other comments or questions related to this? There will be a second reading of this on April the 21st. So if you have any input on that, you can contact staff between now and April the 21st. Moving to item number 7 on the agenda, this is a first reading of an ordinance to require permitting and standards for recovery residence facilities. Mr. Powell.
This is ordinance number 2210. It's an ordinance by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin to add a new permitting requirement for recovery residences, to establish criteria for the issuance of said license, to establish penalties for the operation of such facilities without a permit, to establish a grace period for existing facilities to come into compliance with the provisions of this ordinance, to set an effective date, and for other lawful purposes.
Just as background on this, the Lawrence County Commissioners adopted last year a similar ordinance that required higher standards for recovery group homes. And this ordinance would bring the city into basically the same standards that apply in the county, which we hope will provide a benefit to our residential areas in town. Appreciate Councilman Jones working along with Commissioner Brenda Chang for the development of this ordinance. This is the first reading. The second reading and decision on this will be on April the 21st, 2022. There will be a public hearing on this ordinance at that meeting on April the 21st. So the public is invited to bring any comments that you have on this ordinance to the April 21st meeting. Thank you for that. Now let's move to item number 8, a resolution appointing voting delegates to the Municipal Gas Authority.
This is resolution 2214. It's a resolution by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin appointing the city's voting delegates on the Municipal Gas Authority of Georgia's election committee to set an effective date and for other lawful purposes. And the gas authority is an entity that the city is a member of, and we have voting rights for that board that governs the gas authority. And so this will just update that list of who is our voting delegate, and this ordinance would appoint Matthew Bradshaw, who does the buying and selling of the city's natural gas supply, as the primary voting delegate, and the mayor and myself would be alternate voting delegates of this ordinance, or resolution, excuse me.
All right, this is a resolution. Do we have any questions for staff related to the resolution? Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Jones and a second from Councilman Griggs. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now move to item number 9, discussion on a contract with Untitled Savannah.
This is for contract with Ondas, which is the hotel that the facility that the council uses for our annual goal planning each year. That's in Savannah, and this would be for the goal planning that will take place in February of 2023. And staff asks that you approve the contract.
All right, we have a staff recommendation to approve the contract. Do we have any questions? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Jones and a second from Councilman Godfrey. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. You know, I did get a question from the public about why I say out loud the name of the person who makes the motion in a second, and that is for the records that the city keeps. They have to keep a record of the name of the council member that makes the motion and the name of the person that makes the second. And sometimes when you have multiple people at the same time saying that they make the motion or second it, then the chair has to make a decision about which name goes in the official record. So I just wanted to let y'all know that's the reason why I repeat that each time. All right, so let's move to item number 10, which is discussion on a resolution with Singular Wireless.
This is resolution 2213. It's a resolution by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin to provide consent to modification to the lease agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS LLC for the purpose of modifying the wireless communication facility, to authorize the mayor to execute the necessary documents to effect this consent, to set an effective date, and for other lawful purposes. And that's just a lot of words to say. The company that we lease, there's a big tower next to our warehouse over there off of Truxton Street, and we lease that space to them, and every time they put a new piece of equipment up on that tower or remove a piece, they have to get our consent, and this resolution will affect that.
Council is familiar with the proposed resolution. Do we have a motion? So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Briggs and a second from Councilman Jones. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 11, discussion and action on a resolution to authorize the Bontemps Crawfish Festival.
This is resolution 2212. This is a resolution by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin authorizing the Downtown Dublin Development Authority, also known as the DDA, to utilize a portion of downtown Dublin for a special event, to authorize the carrying of alcoholic beverages in a designated portion of downtown, to authorize licensed restaurants to sell alcohol by the drink within the designated area for the special event, and to authorize the city manager to approve any other permits needed for the event. This will be for the Bontemps Crawfish Festival, which we've had for a couple of years now, and it will be on May the 14th of this year.
Do we have any questions for staff regarding this resolution? Do we have a motion? So moved. We have a motion from Councilman Briggs. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second from Councilman Colby. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
We believe that the customer chooses to buy insurance from people that they trust and that they know. More importantly, that they know that they will take care of them when something happens. The thing that has helped us grow the most as an agency is without a doubt the people. It's the people inside this agency that are the heartbeat. It's the team at Curry Maffitt that forges a relationship with each and every customer that walks in our door. So I would like to reach out and say thank you. Thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for everything you do for this agency. But most importantly, thank you for everything you do for our customers. When I say Curry Maffitt is an agency unlike any other, it's an experience that we're trying to create for the customer that makes buying insurance one of the easiest things that they will ever do. When you have a problem, you need to know that we will be there for you, but you also need to know that we will respond to you. If you're looking for a more hands-on approach to your insurance needs, stop by and experience what we mean when we say we're an agency unlike any other.
Curry Maffitt Insurance, downtown Dublin.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound-guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space, so hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Item number 12 on the agenda is a resolution to transfer 2 properties to the Dublin Lawrence Land Bank. Mr. Powell.
This is Resolution 2215, a resolution by the Mayor and Council of the City of Dublin authorizing the Mayor to execute and deliver a quitclaim deed of certain properties to the Dublin Lawrence Land Bank Authority to set an effective date and for other lawful purposes. And this concerns 2 properties that are just off, one's off of South Jefferson Street, it's 423 South Jefferson Street, and the other is on the Glenwood Highway or Highway 19, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. It's 108 Glenwood Avenue.
All right, you've heard the resolution. Do you have any questions? All right.
Mayor, I would like to recuse myself from this
Councilman Smith is recusing himself from this item. I believe his family owns property adjacent to the area, so he will be recusing himself from this item. Do we have a resolution? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Briggs and a second from Councilman Jones. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, we're now moving on to item 13 of the agenda, which is a contract with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood for architectural assessment.
This contract will have an architecture firm, GMC as they're known, will come in and make an assessment of the 2 existing fire stations we have. Just for the public's benefit, the Southside Fire Station was built in the early 70s, and it's had very little upgrade since that time. If you've ever been inside the building, you can definitely tell. And then the Shamrock Station that's right there next to the City Board of Education office was built in the early, it was in the 80s, and it also needs upgrades to it. And so this company will come in and make an assessment to make sure that the building is still structurally sound and give us recommendations on that. And so staff asks that you approve this. The total cost of the contract is $6,000. $8,000, sorry.
All right. I'd like to provide the public just a little bit of background on this. When we had new council members come in, city staff took us on a tour of all facilities owned by the City of Dublin, including the fire stations. And when we went into the fire stations, we realized that our firefighters had been working with facilities that had not been renovated in many decades and were in need of repair. We set up a committee of the City Council, the Facilities Committee, and members of the Facilities Committee include Sarah Colby and Tess Godfrey, and staff members as well. The Facilities Committee has created a roadmap for improving, renovating, and maintaining our city facilities, including these fire stations. As one of the first steps for these fire stations, we are recommending that GMC come in and do a professional evaluation so we can figure out what kind of repairs we can do in a cost-effective way. So that's some background on this resolution, this contract. Do we have any questions of staff regarding this from council? All right, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Jones and a second from Councilman Godfrey. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next item is item 14, contract with GMC for estimates for the new Dublin Fire Station.
The same company has got a proposal to provide us guidance and walk us through looking at not just the new station, but also we'll look at our 2 existing stations to figure out what facilities we need as far as training areas, decon areas, other improvements that we need to make, and will help us come up with a roadmap for how we could implement those changes that are needed to the existing stations, as well as developing the substation that we'll be building on the north side of town. And the total contract price here is $10,000, and we ask the council to approve it so we can move forward with those plans.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion from
Second.
Councilman Briggs and a second from Councilman Jones. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, that takes us to the end of the main agenda. Now we are at the point of board appointments. The first board appointment is to the library board. This is an appointment by the council. The mayor makes a recommendation on this, but this is voted on by council. The recommendation of the mayor, of myself for this, is Cynthia Fitch. Ms. Fitch is, give me 1 second here. Ms. Fitch is originally from Florida and has only lived in Dublin for a few years, but she has been an active user of the library with her young children. She lives with her family on Stubbs Park and is excited about an opportunity to participate and contribute to her new hometown. The reason that I've recommended Ms. Fitch for this position is because I think it'd be great to have a young person with young children who use the library on that board to provide a perspective of a user who has children. So I would recommend to the council Cynthia Fitch for that purpose. We would need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Jones and a second from Councilman Colby. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. And Ms. Fitch is out of town today, but I know that she'll be excited about that. The next appointment is to the Dublin Housing Authority. For the Dublin Housing Authority, this is actually an appointment by the mayor. I would like to appoint Teresa Holliday to this open board position. Teresa has presented to the council previously regarding her work with the youth in the community. Ms. Holliday is the director of the Spirit Program for Community Mental Health and has volunteered countless hours in service to her community. She has a particular passion for helping children who are in the housing authority area, and I believe that she'll bring a fresh and enlivening spirit to the board. Ms. Holliday is here today with us. Thank you, Ms. Holliday, for your willingness to serve, and look forward to your contributions to that board. The next appointment is to the Planning and Zoning Board to fill the unexpired term of J. Charlie Garbett. This is an appointment that is made by the mayor with the consent of council. So at this point, I am going to recommend, let's see here. I will nominate to this position Todd Gay. I think everybody probably knows Todd. He is a native of Dublin. He is a graduate of the Dublin City Schools. He is a husband and a father. He has been active in the Dublin business community for years, as well as his charitable activities. I believe that his in-depth knowledge of Dublin and wide respect among the community will be an asset to the board. So I'm nominating Todd Gay for the planning and zoning position, and my understanding is that that has to be approved by council. So I've made that nomination. I would ask for council's approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve from Councilman Colby and a second from Councilman Godfrey. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations to Mr. Gay. Look forward to his contributions to that board. We also have a position open on the Youth Council Commission. And give me 1 second. For the Youth Council Commission, I am recommending the appointment of Jackie Curtis to fill the unexpired term of Tammy Howard. Again, this is a position that is nominated by the mayor and approved by council. I believe everybody knows Jackie Curtis and her significant contributions to the community over many years. She has worked with youth in several capacities, and she is interested in and excited about the opportunity to participate with the Youth Council Commission. That is my nomination, and I would ask for council to
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Gray to approve, a second from Councilman Jones. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Well, I want to just say, all of the appointments today are people who have not served on boards previously. One of the things that I'm a big believer in is bringing in new perspectives, new faces, new ideas to these boards and authorities for Dublin. Another thing that I feel pretty strongly about is that everybody should look forward to serving 1 or 2 terms and then be willing to step aside so that other new faces can come in. I think we grow stronger as a community the more people that we have participating and contributing to our community through these boards and authorities. I look forward to making additional appointments to other boards as the year goes on. If anybody has an interest in serving with the city in some capacity, please let me know so I can find out more about you and see where it might be a good fit for you. So I'm very excited for Ms. Fitch, Ms. Holliday, Mr. Gay, and Ms. Curtis. So congratulations to all of you.
I'm Thelma Zipperer. I first met Dr. K in March of 2018. In 2017, I had to quit work. I had to go on disability because of my heart condition. In March of 2018, I had gone to the hospital, to the emergency room, because I was actually in the process of having a heart attack. And you know, you hear the term God send, but I believe that God sent Dr. K to the emergency room. I believe he was on call that day for a reason, for me. They called him, he came in, and I had changed insurance because I had to go on disability, so the insurance has changed. So one of the first things I asked him, and he may not remember this, but the first thing I asked him, I said, do y'all take my insurance? And he said, without even batting an eye, he said, we're not talking about insurance right now. I got a patient that needs me. And I'm telling you, that said bunches right there. And then where the other doctor had given up on me and sent me home basically to die, Dr. K went to work and he checked my records. I mean, I have so many heart issues, but he didn't bat an eye. He said, let's fix this. And he started fixing. When I first started seeing Dr. K, like I said, I could barely get around. And now I can do almost anything I want to do within reason. And, you know, I know that God sent Dr. K to take care of me and to give me back my life. And I was even on a diabetic medicine. I was taking 1,500 milligrams of metformin every day. And now as of about a year after I started seeing him, I'm off all my diabetes medicine, and my A1C is staying perfectly below where it has to be. I'm not just a heart patient when I come in there. I'm Thelma Zipperer. I'm a person that needs whatever he can take care of. And I believe that Dublin is so blessed to have Dr. K in this area. If not, I don't know where I would be right now, honestly. Anything that your body needs that he needs to take care of, he gets on it, and he don't stop, he don't give up on you. He says, let's fix this, and he goes to work. I would recommend anybody that even has an inkling they need a cardiologist or just want to check and make sure if they do or not, I would highly recommend that you go see Dr. K. You will be glad you did. You will, I mean, that's just who he is. He is just personable and an excellent doctor. So you can't beat that. You can't beat it.
I'm Glenn Register, and spring is here. Hometown Supply has all of your lawn and garden equipment from zero-turn mowers to string trimmers and blowers. We carry all major parts and offer service and repair, so come see us at Hometown Supply. And remember, if you can't do business at Hometown Supply, you just can't do business.
All right, now is the time for citizen comments. Do we have any citizen comments tonight? It looks like we've got...
got quite a few.
Let's just stop for 1 second here. It looks like we have 8 or more potential citizen comments tonight. I think that normally we have a 5-minute limit, but that could keep us here another hour. Do y'all have a thought of maybe reducing that time limit to 3 minutes tonight? Could you just give us the...
Got to give him time. You told him 5 minutes. Got to give him 5 minutes.
All right, I think that's something that we should consider for the future. And this is I don't know anybody who's wanted to talk tonight. I just know that we, if we've got 10 people and it's 5 minutes,
yeah,
it would be a long time. But okay, so what I'm going to do is we are going to have the 5-minute clock here. And if you can say what you need to say in less than 5 minutes, that would be great. But if you need to take the whole 5 minutes, that's the current rule, and we'll address it next time if we need to. Before you start, please say your name and your residence, and then we'll start it. All right, thank you.
Mine should be well under 5 minutes.
Okay, great.
I'm Dr. Vonda Morton. I'm a former history instructor at Georgia College, a Lawrence County native, and proud descendant of 85 Confederate soldiers and 5 Revolutionary soldiers. I did actually originally have a longer presentation planned, but I looked at your agenda and it's like, no, we'll cut this back. So what I'm going to do is just basically read the pertinent Georgia Code to you that I'm here to talk about tonight. Georgia Code 1-4-20 states, the General Assembly hereby finds and determines that tourism is a great economic resource in Georgia, and historical, heritage, and cultural inheritance are among the tourism industry's most popular attractions. Georgia's Confederate heritage, physical artifacts and battle sites, and historic events and persons not only attract visitors, they are potentially of even greater importance and benefit to our state's economy. Increased development of our state's Confederate history and heritage as part of the tourism industry will be enhanced through recognizing, celebrating, and advertising that heritage and history. The month of April each year is hereby designated as Confederate History and Heritage Month and shall be set aside to honor, observe, and celebrate the Confederate States of America, its history, those who served in its armed forces and government, and all those millions of citizens of various races and ethnic groups and religions who contributed in sundry and myriad ways to the cause which they held so dear from its founding on February 4th, 1861 in Montgomery, Alabama, until the Confederate ship CSS Shenandoah sailed into Liverpool Harbor and surrendered to British authorities on November 6, 1865. Officials in departments of state, county, and municipal governments, boards of education, elementary and secondary schools, colleges and universities, businesses, and all citizens are encouraged to participate in programs, displays, and activities that commemorate and honor our shared history and cultural inheritance throughout the month of throughout each April during Confederate History and Heritage Month. That's the law. Now I'm going to make a couple of comments here. Native Southerners are increasingly denied the right to honor and acknowledge their Confederate ancestors by the historically ignorant, the perpetually offended, and racists at all levels of government and commerce. Apparently, all racism is bad unless it's directed at those of Confederate ancestry. I would also remind y'all that denying any distinct cultural group, and Southerners are considered by professional historians and different historical groups as a cultural group. So denying any distinct cultural group the right to celebrate its heritage is a form of cultural genocide, which is recognized by most civilized nations as a crime. Given these facts, and in light of the Georgia law I just cited, I call upon Council, in the interest of the much vaunted diversity, equity, and inclusion that's so rampant these days, to recognize April as Confederate Heritage and History Month and April 26th as Confederate Memorial Day. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your comments. Next person, please come forward. Again, please say your name and your residence. We'd be glad to hear from you.
Good evening. My name is Isaac Lawson here in Dublin, Georgia. I live at 204 Hughes Street, across from the Dublin Police Department. I did this about, I don't know, before the pandemic a few years ago. None of you guys was probably on the board, maybe except for one. The city of Dublin put the gas company right next door to my house. And it actually was an inch from my property line until just a few months ago. They backed it off about 3 feet. When it first happened, Mr. Jordan Lucy, I talked to him and I shared with him my concerns, and I told him that, well, when they first put it up, I wasn't notified anything. Phone, knocked on the door. I don't know if it was in the newspaper or not. I would love to hear how they come up with putting it there. I wasn't warned or nothing. And so I come home. I get home, there's razor wire everywhere, right next door to my property. And as far as I know, city ordinance, I can't put razor wire up in my house. And so I told him, I explained to him that the city is wrong, that shouldn't be in there. It's an environmental hazard. It's a nuisance. It's noise when I get up in the morning to go to work. Not only are they next door to my property, they in our community. And I think the time that I was promised that they was gonna move and they was gonna do something about it, I think they thought it just gonna go away, I guess. And so the last thing I heard was they had got property over near Kelton Road, and that they was gonna go in and try to move. Well, through the pandemic, they said they couldn't move because of the pandemic. So, you know, I work every day. I got to get off work to come here and do this. And so, so after a while, nothing never happened. So even during the pandemic, they was making deals because I saw it on TV. But they said they couldn't move, and they had already purchased the property. My concern is that it's sad that when I go to work, I got to worry about the city of Dublin putting something by my house. Nobody on this panel will want the city of Dublin gas company next door to their property. When it first happened, they brought old gas pipes, they brought trash and dumped it right next to my property line. I told them, I dealt with 2 city members and a mayor about this, and nothing has happened. This is something I don't think that if the city gonna get on to people about doing wrong, there's no way you can get on to somebody about doing something wrong and you put this next door to my property. It's wrong. Why they ain't moved, Mr. Mayor, I don't know. Different ones that spoke to me in the past about we gonna move, we gonna do this, and nothing happened. Just a few days ago, they just moved the razor wire. I don't know who was in charge of that, but the razor wire been up for about, I guess, 7 years. And I told Mr. George then, I said, you know that if one of the kids over here getting that razor wire, you know you got a problem. And I said, you know that them bringing old gas pipe that been in underground for all these years, get in the water, we got another problem. So one day I came home, the guys was pouring out something on the ground, suds and something, so I went over and asked them what it was. And they assured me that everything was okay. But this has been going on probably about, I don't know, 5 to 7 years. And none of you guys, I don't think, was in on any of this. Did anybody share it over? I think I had 1 or 2 people kind of relapse it over. But I'm just here to say nothing never got done. Not only should the city have put a gas company next door to my property, 1 inch. It was so bad till they put the fence next to mine like this, and the stuff grew up between the fence. And I got the videos, the pictures to prove it. It looked like a jungle. So when I called Mr. Lance about it, he did move the fence 2 or 3 feet back. And when they moved the fence back, they just left the trees, grass, a plum mess. And I just want to make sure that you guys know this, and that I'm asking the city of Dublin to please get that gas company out of our community. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your
Y'all got any questions about it? Did y'all know about it?
Well, this is the time for citizen comments. If you need feedback or other information from the city, you're welcome to contact city manager or your elected representatives. But our policy is not to respond to any citizen comments, so that we can keep the citizens comment period moving.
Right. And also, I just don't want another 2 months to go by and they think it's gonna go away. I waited 6 months, I waited 1 year, I waited 2 years, really nothing ever got. I called Mr. Lance, first did Mr. Jordan, and I came before the mayor and the whole council a few years ago, and I guess a lot of people don't even know it's even there because it's in the community.
Well, we appreciate your comments, and if you want to have a specific follow-up with Mr. Powell, he can get your contact information after the meeting.
Who's Mr. Powell?
Looks like you got some new vehicles in.
Yeah, but this chip shortage isn't going away anytime soon. Our friends need to know that if they order their vehicle from Dublin Ford Lincoln, the factory puts that order to the front of the line.
I wish someone would solve this chip problem.
We got chips now! Daddy's gonna be so proud.
I'm gonna need a bigger pantry.
Problem solved.
At Hangers Cleaners in Dublin, we really appreciate your business and strive for customer service and a better quality every single day. That's what we're here for. At Hangers Cleaners, we'll pick up and deliver right to your door, saving you time and money. Hangers Cleaners for all your fine linens, alterations, wedding gowns, leather, you name it, and we'll do it. Hangers Cleaners for your professional dry cleaning and laundry. Hangers Cleaners, the cleaner that cares. Hillcrest Parkway in Dublin.
All right. Thank you very much. We always appreciate having citizen comments. Next.
I am Carolyn McCune, proud community servant of Dublin and Lawrence County. And let me add, 50-year graduate of Dublin High School. We just celebrated our class reunion a couple of weeks ago because the pandemic was rampant in 2021. Like I said, thank you for listening to me on my comments. I'm here primarily to express our and my displeasure over the demotion of the previous city inspector. We feel that he had 20+ years of service, and there should have been another way to handle it other than demoting him. I am told that he's quite happy with that. I fail to believe that because he is a dedicated employee, and there should have been another way to handle that situation. The other matter that Ms. Brown left, but I wanted to commend you guys for supporting our library. A library tells you about the quality and make of a community. I've been in some communities where the library is just poor. Every time I go to Dublin Lawrence Library, I enjoy it. It's a great experience. So thank you for that willing support. The other comment is that we are about to hire a city manager, and I want to have involvement. The community should have involvement in the selection of a city manager. After all, that affects all of us. And my primary recommendation is that we hire a search committee to look for an experienced, talented city manager nationwide, not just in our community. We need other input, we need diversity, we need to hear other ideas. And I volunteer myself. If I can help with, I really want to work with the committee. Dublin is important to me, and the quality of life and business here is critical. I'm offended when people come to Dublin and say they don't like it. So I ask, well, why not? To get valid feedback, and I get a variety of reasons, but I don't want our reputation to be diminished by not hiring the right person. And like I said, we don't want to create generational consequences, negative. We want to keep Dublin uplifted, invite new development in, we need new housing, and that city manager, if talented and skilled enough, even with city planning experience, will be a bonus for Dublin. So if you all would consider hiring a search committee, if there's a problem with that, maybe I can find you one where they might be able to volunteer our services. We have a lot of resources here, other people that work for HR in this beautiful city that we have that would be able to volunteer and help with services. So I thank you all very much.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. McCune.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
You all remember me coming. I wanted to refresh you on why I'm here. We're residents of Live Oak subdivision. We've been asking about a four-way stop. I've been several times since November the 4th. I know the administration changed. This is Mr. Calvin Stevens. He's one of the residents. He's come with me, and he's going to speak for just a second, and then I'm going to go into this.
I'm down with Mr. Hall to ask the city to do something about the stop sign. At the bypass, you pull out our subdivision and you will almost get run over by cars coming from the bypass. I don't know how they get up that to that amount of speed in such a short distance, it's probably less than 100 yards.
Quarter mile.
Quarter of a mile. And you turn out there on Passenger Road, and you look in your mirror like, oh my God, car's right on your bumper, and about to rear end you, just turning out the subdivision. And you have to kind of be careful because you don't want to get into the other lane when you're turning out. Because it's, not a wide area right there. So it's a real hazard there, and something needs to be done. It's been numerous complaints about accidents almost happening there. So we're asking you all to, if you can, to get something done, stop sign, light or something there at that intersection.
Yes, what's happened is, like I said, I was on the board of the subdivision 7 years. I've been approached by numerous people. They all have kids to pick up, they have parents to look after, things that happen where they can't all be here. So what has happened is, after speaking with an attorney, we have gotten our petition done. I'll be glad to read that. It will only take a second. It says that we have a petition for four-way stop at the intersection of Wiregrass Trail, Live Oak Subdivision, Claxton Road, and Woodland Trails. And the petitioners state that we are residents of Live Oak, Dublin. Evidence has been presented at City Council recently that shows extremely unsafe conditions at said intersection due to excessive speeding, very high speeds, and limited sight distance. I showed a speed of 74 miles an hour coming through there. That's enough to kill somebody twice. The cost of installing 2 more stop signs would be negligible. There are already 2 stop signs in place. There is a potential for a deadly accident at this subdivision unless the situation is addressed. Traffic coming to and from the bypass is only a quarter mile away has increased dramatically, and it has. I've been there 14 years. I've seen it go way up. Residents are in fear from being able to safely exit the subdivision on the Claxton Road and Woodland Trails without being feared involved in an accident. And we possess photographic evidence of the speeds in excess of 70 miles an hour coming through the city intersection. City owns the road. Plus now we've got fuel tankers coming in. We've got Florida rocking tank lines every few minutes. One comes down the Claxton Dairy. If that hits in our subdivision, hits on that, it hits there and explodes, my house is gone. The next door house is gone. Several people own 3 lots, like I own 2, several own 3. And we pray with all due respect this petition will be acted upon swiftly to help the many residents. We're trying to keep somebody from getting killed, and I know it's not important to a lot of people, but I have 63 signatures. This is 97% of our subdivision. The Christian brothers that started our subdivision have signed it, Josh, Wayne, and Don. They have 7 empty lots. I have 2 lots. One lady has 3 lots. We may have almost 100%. There's a couple of houses up for sale. There's a couple of people that are never home that work out of town. So I have a copy of this, and I would like to present this to council for your review. And I wanted Mr. Stevens to come just to do, to tell you guys, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to unplug that. I'll plug it back. All of these people are residents and taxpayers. I worked in an electronic shop one time. So anyway, all we want to do is prevent somebody from getting killed. If they want to do a roundabout, fine, but 2 stop signs would make us very happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming in for our comments.
First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future. That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter, member FDIC.
When your ability to get up out of a chair, stand, walk, and do routine activities without hurting every day, having to take Tylenol, Motrin, or leave to get through the day, then it's time to come see us. Again, if you're avoiding activities, you're not going to do things with your friends or your family or your children, then you should not let it impact your life like that. We have things from medications to injections to surgery. A lot of people, I think, are scared to come see us initially because they're not ready for surgery. 85% of the people that I see in my office, I'm treating with something other than surgery. It's that small group of people at the end of their disease that are getting knee and hip replacements. So don't be afraid at least to come and let us check it for you.
Do we have additional comments? How are you doing tonight?
Hi. My name is Angela Hines. I am a business owner here in Dublin, and I own a business that's located at 500B Charles W. Manning Senior Way, which is formerly known as Wabash Street. The name of my business is By the Park Convenience Store. I'm here today to ask you guys to consider making a change to an ordinance that we have in place. Dublin has an ordinance in place that prohibits the consumption and sale of alcohol for a specific amount of feet from housing authority, churches, schools. And so I'm not asking to be able to sell alcohol for consumption at my convenience store. I want to be able to sell it to go, not to consume it on the property. The state does regulate consumption by a certain amount of feet on the premises close to housing authority, but not for sale. This ordinance affects me because I have reopened a convenience store that has been in the community previously for 30 plus years. I bought the property as part of Southside Development to kind of revitalize the community. The store is located across from Housing Authority, directly across the street. Opened the store, I bought land that surrounded the whole community. It was dilapidated. I upgraded it to help revitalize that area of Southside. I'm just building it to make it a vital part of our community. In my store, I sell like fresh fruit, dairy products, meats, vegetables, water, chips, drink, beauty products, cleaning products, pet food, anything you can get in a local convenience store. But I offer EBT, which is a federal government program. I also have Georgia Lottery program, which is giving back to Georgia education. I offer bill pay for a lot of the residents there. I have a rewards program that they're kind of happy about. Once they come into this convenience store, once they buy products, they are able to redeem it for cash back or other products in the store. I have a special area in the store that's dedicated to the community. It's called my community counter. It has food that I have purchased, and it may almost be the price of nothing. Like someone comes in and they can't afford to purchase a bag of rice. On this community counter, that rice may be 25 cents, but they come in and show me a lot of need, I'll just give it to them. So that's just my part of giving back to some people that might be less fortunate. I have a lot of traffic that comes into my store. 75% of the traffic is walk-up traffic because I'm dead in the middle of houses. So I have kids that come in the store because they walk in there because the parents feel safe to allow them, because I'm right there in their community. They're right across the street. They can see their kids come in and leave out the store. Some people that come in, they walk, they're elderly, they are without cars, and it's just a convenience for them. So I offer it was my goal to offer everything that they could get at any other convenience store, but located in their community. One of the components is that I'm just not able to sell alcohol in there. I'm not trying to change a law. I don't want to sell it to anybody underage or anything like that. I just want to offer what their legal right gives them anyway. So I'm just asking for you guys to consider, it's a distance requirement. So I'm just asking to either give me special permission or some kind of allowance to be able to sell the alcohol and something related to the distance of it.
Is it mixed drinks? Is it packaged to go? Or
It's packaged to go.
Because it makes a difference if it's beer or wine versus liquor.
No, it's not liquor, it's beer and wine that's packaged to go. They will not be able to consume it on the premises. I
might recommend that you meet with either Ms. Bradshaw or Mr. Powell to discuss options for that.
Okay. And I just want to leave this as just facts about
Great,
it.
thank you. Is your contact information on this?
It is.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, do we have any other citizens' comments?
I'd like to make one other comment. Ms. Bradshaw, we'd love to be at the table to help make decisions for our community.
Ms. McHugh,
Yes.
If you want to make a citizen's comment, you can come to the microphone, but you've already done that tonight. You're welcome to come to the next meeting and make comments at that time. Thank you. Anybody else have citizens' comments?
I do, Joe.
Okay, great.
Hi there.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
My name is Tiffany Green, and I'm from Dublin, Georgia, and I'm the broker for Excel Realty Group. And my husband, this is my husband, Tony Green. He and I, we buy and flip properties throughout Lawrence County, and every year we at least try to do 3 or 4 properties a year. I was issued a this is my first time getting a citation, and most of my properties are in my LLC. My question is, when the city of Dublin is issuing a citation, and if it's in an LLC, why is it in my personal name? Did the city do a title search to see who all the managing members, or did they see who the managing, because you're a managing member does not mean that you own that property. So now I have a court case against state of Georgia versus Tiffany Green. And I want to know how the city, what is the proper way to write a citation whenever it's in an LLC?
I addressed that with the officer that we spoke earlier today.
Yes.
And we did look into that, and he had made an error in putting your name personally as the person to be served. So he is going to have that dismissed and issue a new citation. But you, I think as I was telling you earlier, you would be the person who would serve because you are listed as the managing member of the LLC. It would be in the name of the LLC, though.
Right, but because I'm a managing member doesn't make me the owner. I think that the city of Dublin should either ask for an operational agreement or do a title search to see who's the owners of the property versus just putting it in someone's name and having a court case. That was my question.
Ms. Green, we really appreciate you being here. Again, we have to limit this time for citizens' comments. If you need follow-up information or have questions, then that can happen after this meeting, or you can get a time to talk with them about. But we're welcome to hear any comments that you have, about this. This just is not a time for back and forth questions.
Got it. Okay, I understand. I just wanted to just make it clear to do the proper way of writing a citation when it's in an LLC versus someone's personal name. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and raising that concern.
Okay.
And I'm sure that there'll be follow-up with you from
Okay,
staff
yes,
on that.
Thank you.
Thank you again for coming. Is there anyone else here tonight who'd like to make citizens' comments? All right. Well, I think having lots of citizens' comments is a good sign, because when people think that they're not being heard, they stop saying something. So this means that y'all are believe that you're being heard, and you are being heard. And that's the whole point of this. We want to have an open, transparent government. We want to be responsive to the concerns of citizens, and we always invite and encourage people to come and make citizens' comments. And I know that our staff has done an excellent job of following up on any questions that are raised after these meetings. All right. If there are no more citizens' comments, we will go to council and staff comments. Mr. Daniels, do you have any comments? Ms. Bradshaw? Ms. Bradshaw? All right, let's move on to Mr. Griggs.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everybody for coming. Congratulations to all of those that were appointed forward, and thank all the citizens that made the comments tonight. And have a great week.
Thank you. Councilwoman Colby.
Just want to thank everyone for your comments. It's just important that we all work together and that we continue to communicate. So thank you for being here tonight, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Ms. Godfrey?
I would just like to say thank you all for coming out, and I love seeing you all in the audience and always speaking up and speaking out, because if you don't say anything, we won't know how to respond to the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. And I'd like to congratulate Mr. Greg Thomas for being our employee of the quarter. But I also like to give a shout out to all of our city employees, especially the ones that work out in the streets, our public works, our sanitation, our police, fire department. The last 2 days has been very hectic. And I know a lot of hard work on y'all, because I had a report last night that a tree had fell in the middle of the road around the corner from my house, and by the time I got back to it, it was came right around the corner. The public works were there. They done sawed up the tree, and I know another business had lights was out, power went out over there, and somebody tried to break into their building. The police was there responding, and they was walking around the building. So thank y'all for what y'all have done for the last couple of days, and what y'all do every day. But I know the last couple of days, with all this weather being the way it's been, y'all had an extra load on yourselves, and kudos, my hat goes off to y'all for all that y'all have done, and continue to do the good work. I know you get a lot of complaints, but thank you for what you're doing and what you continue to do, and keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Councilman Jones. Mr. Powell?
I too would like to thank the public safety folks who were out last night. They cleared a couple of trees pretty quickly. Thank you to law enforcement for providing trees for our movement today. And also had a very good meeting. The Human Resources Director and I met with representatives from the NAACP. Some of you may recall they requested a meeting with me and him a couple of meetings back. And we had that meeting earlier this week, and it was a very good meeting, and I always appreciate getting feedback from them about how we can do things better at the city. So that was a good meeting. Thank you.
Great. I just have two things I'd like to say. First, I want to thank Pine Forest Methodist Church for providing a lunch today for the police department and fire department. I ate too much red velvet cake, but it was good to have some homemade cake, and I really appreciate the Pine Forest Church members for putting that on, and I think that showing that appreciation for the police department and the fire department, appreciate them doing that, and of course appreciate all that you guys do with the police and fire departments. I also want to thank Woodland Heights Baptist Church for the gifts that they provided. The council members, they provided these Bibles with a personal note to each of the council members. I was very thoughtful of the church for doing that. We certainly appreciate that. Unless there are any other council comments, do we have a motion for executive session? Does anyone want to do that tonight?
Make a motion, go into executive session.
For what purpose?
You have to state the purpose.
I think it was listed as personnel, I do believe.
Personnel, this is real estate, ready? Okay, so this would be a motion to go into executive session for personnel. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? All right. Without a second, the motion fails. Probably because we've got several council members absent.
Yes, it was.
Did Chris miss?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we do have a second from Councilman Smith. All those in favor of going to executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the ayes have it. We'll go into executive session. Thank you to the public for coming tonight.